Berrywood Lodge in Duston is a medical health residential community placement facility. Its focus is working on independence and the skills of living a daily life. And we can find out how the place has been tackling the virus and the impact that it's had on its residents. That's because the service manager for Berrywood Lodge is on the phone. Andrea Cratchen is that service manager. Morning, Andrea. How are you?
Morning, I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you very much indeed. Looking forward to the weekend. But when it comes to the effects of coronavirus, what's been the effect at Berrywood Lodge? How have things changed in the way you do what you do?
You know, in the beginning, when all this started, I had a bit of fear. And, I can't say I was scared. I was scared how the service users going to react, how the staff going to be. So when everything starts and they put the lockdown in UK, first we had a meeting with all our service users. We tried to explain them. They already knew it something from the news because most of them love to watch news. Yeah. And we make a plan, together with the staff, and then we make a plan what we're going to do because we're going to be in lockdown and we can't go out to enjoy, all the activities outdoor which we used to do before. So we start to focus a lot in activities with them in the house. We are very lucky at Berrywood Lodge as we have a huge garden and the weather was quite good all this time. So we start having barbecues. Berrywood is always having barbecues. It doesn't matter. It's winter, it's summer, it's spring. All our residents know if it's a bank holiday or just a simple Sunday, we're going to have a barbecue.
And I guess that's important to them as well because it also gives a certain structure to their days and to their weeks as well. If they know that there are things like social events like barbecues coming up. Of course,
exactly.
If you can't mix with people, have you still been able to do those things?
Yes, we've still been able because we went for the shop. It was a bit hard with the shopping in the beginning, but after our staff was amazing. So every few days we was going, making sure we had the food shop list, and we was buying all the food for them and thinking what we can do. And every week we was thinking before Easter we're gonna have a barbecue, so we have to have this for a barbecue. We have to have that. We're doing like a little party together with the barbecue, having music, dancing.
Well, that sounds very sociable. What sort of numbers of service users do you have at Berrywood Lodge at any one time, Andrea?
We have at the moment 24 service users, and like I always love to say, Berrywood is a unique home because being 24, they are all so different, but in the same time, they are like a little family.
And what about conditions for members of staff there? I mean, have you had to change the way in which you dress? Has personal protection equipment, has that been something that you've had to bring into use? Because I can imagine that might be, frankly, a little frightening for people first time they encounter that if you've had to use it.
We was using before, but maybe not so much. So yeah, we had so much support from our senior management from the company, making sure we have all the personal protective equipment in stock, and we're using like constantly 24 hours to protect ourselves and to protect the service users as well.
And do you have sufficient stocks of that equipment?
Yeah. Yes, we always had. If we ran out with something, it was enough just to give a ring to the, like I said, senior management from the company, and they will help us to get the equipment back.
So would you say that life is at all different? Because you talk about having had at least the time to plan the activities for your service users. You've talked about the importance of barbecues and being able to get some fresh air when the opportunity comes up. And luckily, you've been able to get the shopping and so on. Do your service users notice any difference in the way that daily life is conducted at Berrywood Lodge?
To be honest, I think in the first week, because like I said, they used to go out quite a lot. They love to go. Some of them love to go to the pub. So what we did in the nice weather, we did like a small kind of corner pub in the garden for them, and with all the garden furniture, they were staying in the garden, enjoying with music. And we were telling, okay, come on, let's sing now. We are in pub.
Let's sing We're in the Pub. It sounds as though social distancing and social isolation has actually been quite good for the residents and the staff at Berrywood Lodge. Of course, Andrea, I perceive there that's not a Northamptonshire accent you're speaking with. I gather you've got family in France. How are they doing?
Yeah, my family is doing quite all right. You know, it's not so bad now. In the beginning, it was more strict, but it was just for a couple of weeks. Luckily, my family is fine, and all the friends which I got in France, they all fine.
Have you been Zooming them?
Yeah, of course. And even, the service users, they have the option to speak with the families. We are in weekly contact with them, and they have the option to ring on FaceTime, landline,
That's
wherever
fantastic.
they feel.
Yeah, technology is shrinking the world ever more, and particularly with this time as well. Andrew, it's lovely to talk to you. I think you might get a barbecue away later on today, but it's a bit cloudy at the moment. So send all our best to everybody at Berrywood Lodge, and thanks for talking to me this morning. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's Andrea Cranchan from Berrywood Lodge. And the details, I think the secret that they've got there and the success that they've had is what Andrea was saying about notice that things were going to be changing and being able to plan accordingly and still be able to get the shopping in too, ready for those very important barbecues.